This is the diary of Eva Braun, and this is where I'm going to read the diary out to you. If you want to know the background to this diary, then you're going to have to see part 1 where I explain it to you. Now, she kept a diary, but unfortunately we've only got the entries from the 6th of February to the 28th of May 1935. And this bit describes her relationship with Adolf Hitler as she sees it. Although the way she writes it, I think this could be written, or could have been written, by any love-struck young lady, or young gentleman for that matter. So here goes. 6th of February 1935. I guess today is the right day to begin this masterpiece. I've happily reached my 23rd year. That is, whether or not I am happy is another question. At the moment, I am certainly not happy. That is because I have such high expectations of such an important day. If only I had a dog, I wouldn't feel so alone, but I guess that is asking too much. Mrs. Shout came with flowers and a telegram. She was acting as an ambassador. My whole office looks like a flower shop and smells like a mortuary. I was really ungrateful, but I hoped so much to get a little dachshund, and now again I got nothing. Perhaps next year or even after that, then it would be better suited to an incipient spinster. Let me not give up hope. I should have learnt patience by now. I bought 2 lottery tickets today because I was convinced it was now or never. It seems as though I'll never get rich, but I can't do anything about that. Today I would have gone to the Zugspitze with Hertha, Gretel, Ilse and Mother, and we would have lived like royalty, because one always has the most fun when there are others to share in the happiness. But the trip just didn't work out. Today I'm going to eat with Hertha. What else may a simple little woman of 23 do? Thus I will bring my birthday to a close with gluttony. Thus I believe I shall have acted in accordance with my preferences. 11th of February 1935. He was just here, but no dog and no cupboard. He didn't even ask me if I had a birthday wish. So now I went and got myself some jewellery, a necklace, earrings and a ring to match for 50 marks. Everything very pretty. I hope he likes it. If not, he might buy me something himself. Undated between the 12th and 17th of February 1935. It seems that the Berlin deal is really going to come off. That is, I won't believe it until I'm in the Reichskanzlei. I hope it will be an agreeable affair. Too bad that Hertha can't come along instead of Charlie. She would be a guarantee for a few happy days. This way there will probably be a bigger do, because I don't think that Bruckner, for a change, will show his more charming side vis-a-vis Charlie. I didn't look forward to it yet, but it might turn out to be wonderful if everything goes well. Let's hope so. 18th of February 1935. Yesterday came quite unexpectedly, and it was a delightful evening. The nicest thing was that he was thinking about taking me out of the fire, and I just don't want to be too happy yet, to buy me a little house. I don't dare think of it. It would be so wonderful. I wouldn't have to open the door for our honourable customers and play salesgirl. Dear God, please make it come true within a reasonable amount of time. Poor Charlie is sick and can't come to Berlin with us. She is really unlucky, but maybe it's better that way. Maybe he would be very rude to her, and then she would be even more unhappy. I'm so infinitely happy that he loves me, and pray that it will always be like this. I should never want to be to blame if once he stopped loving me. 4th of March 1935. I'm again mortally unhappy. Since I can't write to him, this book must serve to assuage my pain. He came Saturday the town of M's ball took place. Mrs. Schwartz had given us a lodge ticket for it, and so I was obliged to attend at all costs, especially since I had already accepted. Then I spent a few wonderful hours with him until 12 o'clock, and then went to the ball with his permission. He promised that I would see him on Sunday. In spite of the fact that I called up and I sent a message that I am waiting for his news, he simply drove off to Feldalfing. He even refused Hoffman's invitation to tea and supper. One may look at everything from two sides. Perhaps he wanted to be alone with Dr. G, who was also here, but he could have let me know. I was at Hoffman's on pins and needles, thinking all of the time that he might come right now. We went to the train later because he had decided to leave, but only arrived in time to see the rear lights. Hoffman and the others had again left others too late, and thus I couldn't even say goodbye. Probably I'm too pessimistic again. I hope he hasn't been here now for 14 days, and I am so unhappy and have no peace of mind. Incidentally, I don't know why he should be angry with me. Perhaps because I went to the ball, but then he gave me his permission. I am uselessly racking my brain as to why I should be driving away without saying goodbye. Hoffman gave me a ticket for tonight's performance of Venetian Nights, but I won't go. I'm much too unhappy. March 11th, 1935. I only wish I was seriously ill for at least 8 days and to hear nothing of him. Why doesn't something happen to me? Why do I have to suffer like this? I wish I'd never seen him. I'm desperate. I'm going to buy more sleeping tablets, and at least I'll be half dazed and won't think about him so much. Why doesn't the devil come and get me? I'm sure it's nicer there than here. For 3 hours I stood outside the Carlton and had to watch while he brought flowers, for Indra invited her to supper. Marginal note, just my crazy imagination. 25th of March. He's only using me for very definite purposes. Marginal note, baloney. Probably also 26th of March. When he says he loves me, he takes it about as seriously as his promises, which he never keeps. Why does he torture me so much instead of just putting an end to the whole thing? 16th of March 1935. He went to Berlin again. If only I didn't go off the beam whenever I see him less than usual. Actually, it's quite natural he shows no great interest in me. Presently, there is so much going on politically. I'm going to take a trip to the Zugspitze with Goethe today, and then maybe my stupidity will subside. Everything has turned upside down in my life, all right in the end so far. And will it be the same for this time? One must have patience, that's all. 1st of April 1935. Yesterday we were invited by him for supper at the Vierjahrzeiten. I had to sit next to him for 3 hours and couldn't say a word to him. When taking leave, he handed me an envelope containing money, as he had done once before. If only he had at least added a greeting or a kind word, I would have been so happy, but he never thinks of anything like that. Why doesn't he go to Hoffman's to eat? There at least I would have had him all to myself for a few minutes. I only wish he would not come any more until his home is ready. 29th of April 1935. Things are tough, very much so in every respect. I keep humming to myself, things will improve, but it doesn't help much. The house is ready, but I can't go and visit him. Love does not seem to be on his program at present. No, he's back in Berlin. I feel a little better, but there are days during the last week when I did my share of crying at night, especially since I spent Easter at home by myself. I'm getting on everyone's nerves because I want to sell everything, from my clothes down to my photo camera and even theatre tickets. Oh well, things will improve. After all, my debts aren't that bad. 10th of May 1935. According to Frau Hoffmann's kind and equally tactless remarks, he now has a substitute for me. Her name is Valkyrie, and she looks it, including her legs. But these are the shapes that appeal to him. If that is true, he will soon have annoyed her till she gets slim, unless she has Charlie's talent for thriving on worries. Worry seems to increase her appetite. If Frau H's observations should turn out to be true, it is mean of him not to tell me. After all, he should know me well enough to realize that I would never stand in his way. If he would discover another romantic interest, why should he worry about what happens to me? I'll wait until the 3rd of June. By then, it'll be 3 months since our last meeting, and I ask him for an explanation by mail. Now tell me again that I'm not modest. The weather's gorgeous, and I, the mistress of Germany's and the world's greatest man, have to sit at home and look at it through the window. He has so little understanding and makes me appear distant when his friends are around. Well, one makes one's own bet. I guess it is really my fault, but just one of those things which he likes to blame someone else. The period of fasting won't last forever, and then it will taste so much better. Too bad, though, that it just happens to be spring right now. 28th of May, 1935. I've just sent him a letter, one that is decisive for me. Will he consider it as important as I do? Well, we'll see. If I don't get an answer by 10 tonight, I will take 25 pills and lie down peacefully. Is it a sign of the terrific love of which measures me that he hasn't spoken a kind word to me in 3 months? Agreed, he's been busy with politics, but haven't things already eased off a bit? And how about what happened last year when he had all those problems with Rome and Italy, and he still managed to find time for me? That's true, but I'm not in a position to judge whether the present situation isn't much worse. But after all, a few kind words to Frau Hoffmann would hardly have taken much time. I feel that there's another reason. It's not my fault, certainly not my fault. Maybe it's another woman, although I doubt it. It's a Valkyrie. What other reason could there be? I can't find any. God damn it, I'm afraid I won't get an answer today. I only wish someone would help me. Everything's so hopeless. Maybe my letter reached them at an inopportune time. Or maybe I shouldn't have written it at all. Whichever it is, the uncertainty is much worse than even a sudden end would be. Dear God, please make it possible I speak to him today. Tomorrow will be too late. I've decided on 35 pills so as to make death certain this time. That at least would give an excuse for him to call. That is the end of the diary, which survived. These pages only survived, of course, because they were torn out of her diary. The rest of it was destroyed, probably at the end of the war, although, as I said in the other video, maybe it is around somewhere awaiting discovery. Thanks very much for listening. I upload at 2000 hours Central European time every Friday, and sometimes I upload at other times as well. If you find this interesting, my specialist area is in the Second World War, particularly in the Holocaust, but I do other things as well. So, if you're interested, please subscribe.